Hello, welcome to Astro Breeze weekly transits, and we are coming into our next change. We have our second new moon in Aries coming up this week, and then we also have a Mercury retrograde. So let's get started. Get everything done. It's happening. It's getting stiller in space. All right, so today, Tuesday, the 18th, we have probably the biggest thing. I mean, we got a couple big things and then just a lot of moon aspects, but today, we're kicking off with Saturn making aspects to the moon nodes. Saturn is sextiling the north node and trining the south node. See it right here? There's a trine, and then there's the sextile. Because Saturn is two signs away from the north node up here. And there's a south node down there that it's trining. So what does that mean? Um, Bringing Saturn into the picture, with the moon nodes in a good way. This conversation is serious. Okay, so if we look at it, the sextile to the north node, the in Taurus, we have Pisces to Taurus. We have that disillusion of Saturn, or restructuring things that need to be reformed over to the north node, and that's in that solid sign of secure Taurus. So maybe bringing resolution, or what would you say, bringing some structure into getting yourself on track. Maybe you're starting to see the path, starting to move forward into new endeavors that you wanted to. Putting some structure into the nebulous form that we've had, and then having a trine over to the south node. You can use your inherent talents and your inherent things that you've already put in your way of going about life, your way of doing things, and then move forward. Saturn is putting that structure in. It's giving you that diligence to do it. It's giving you that willpower. It's giving you that little extra attempt to go the extra mile, to do what you need to do to get what you want to do done. So this is a nice way to kind of kick this week off, or to see this. We can start zoning in a little bit more on what we are all need to be doing in life. And if any of these degrees are, if you have things in Taurus or 4 degrees, then you can take that more into consideration. All right, so what else we got going on here? So we're going to move. You'll see, let's see, does it show it? Not yet. Well, I'm gonna go back because the moon passes over there. So can I go by one day? I can go one day. Okay, so Wednesday, you can see by like 4 in the afternoon, this is East Coast time, how close the sun is. I'm just gonna go now by hours, because you can see how close. It's like early in the morning. Whoop, 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 there it was. Okay, so you can see right here it's Thursday morning at 12. It would be 12:13 in the morning, Thursday, East Coast time. So anything moving west, Central time, Mountain time, Pacific, would the new moon would be on Wednesday night. Okay, then you can adjust that for the rest of the world. But look at the planets here. I like when they're lined up. 2950. And this is, remember, the second new moon in Aries. And this is kind of, I would say, a little anticlimactic for the Aries. Aries wants to be first. It doesn't want to do it again. So I think it's gonna be a little, I don't know, just slightly anticlimactic on that level. But there's other things that are raucous as ever. So anyway, this is very interesting here, that it's right at the end of that sign, right at the end. 10 more minutes and it'll be past. And then we'll see it like the next hour. Boom, it's past. All right, so let's just go get a reasonable time, give you like the middle of the day. Okay, so here we are now, like get back where you can see it. So the new moon, I just, while we're looking it up, I just keep it up there. Some of the notes I have on you for that is like what do I want to say about it? well, I already said that it's kind of like an anticlimactic with Aries there, but um, it's like it gives us a chance to kind of really connect with our feelings and start bringing forth. We're into the newness of spring. We're into the fixedness of spring. We went through the Aries part. Now we're going to settle in and getting into the Taurian part of spring, where we're settling in. Now let's move. Yeah, I think I want to see it there. Okay, so Thursday into here. So right after, these are kind of bunched up. I just want to get it where you can see it past. All right. And then we'll go by day. I think that's a little better. All right. So we have the sun. As soon as we have that it passes, the moon passes over, it passes over the north node as well. You see the moon, as soon as it's past the sun, that goes over the north node. So that kind of, again, still highlights that what we need to be doing. And it kind of, with the moon hitting over it first, it sort of filters it maybe through our emotions, um, weighing out those final stages of really pushing through. We've been waiting, you know, Mars is, was in that long retrograde in that long time in Gemini. Now it's moved into Cancer. And then we're going to get some interesting aspects with it. Let me go back a day. You can see how Mercury now is starting to slow down. It's still 15 degrees. So Mars starts to move forward a little bit, and it'll make a nice sextile there, but we'll get there. I want to we'll go back a second. There's a couple things happening right here. All right, so the sun, as soon as it gets, that we have that new moon, and then the sun moves into. I want to get it back there, right there. We have the new moon, and then we have the sun squaring Pluto. Okay, then it's going to sextile Saturn. That's what I wanted to get for you. But you can see moon went over sun. Now, sun moves into Taurus. It's just like a few hours later that it's like at 4 in the morning that the sun goes into Taurus. But then it's over here, it makes the square over to Pluto. So it's like the power struggle is real. And it's not going away. It's just kind of reminding us that, we still have to get into the fight. We all still have to have things to do to make this transformation in our world. All right. And then the sun, when it will make, then it's a few days later, because it goes a degree a day, then it will make a sextile over here to Saturn, which will soften it a little bit. It'll be next Tuesday, you can see, but we'll get to it next Tuesday. But it makes that boom, boom, hits over to it squares the Pluto, then it trines the Saturn. So it's got to contend with this transformative energy, and then it gets structured to how to do it. So sun squaring Pluto, or the moon too, the moon had to do it first. It squared Pluto, and then it made its, sextile over to Saturn. So the emotional, we got the emotional hit first. Transformation. Now I need to know how. So that's kind of what's coming up, I think, with this moon for people. We get that with that transformation. We know we have to transform something, and then will come the structure of how to right after that. Okay, that's a lot. That's kind of the most of the week. That's the biggest part of the week. But then Friday, yeah, there it goes. And then we have, you could see Mars now moving closer to making that sextile over to, right up on the top of the chart to Mercury. You can see it Saturday, it's getting real close. There it is. All right, so we see it's like late Saturday or Sunday now that it's actually making that nice sextile, and that's when it goes retrograde. So it gets, it's sitting there hanging, and then Mars goes over and meets it. So Mars is moving faster. So this is kind of like doubling down now on material, earthy, or security matters, getting rid of things that haven't been based on truth, because we have communications, and then we have, of Mercury, and then we have that drive of Mars, and Mars is over there in that protective, Cancer. um, it's like, the actual planet becomes, you know, um, it, how do I say it? Mercury's slowing down, so it's saying that things that are stable, and grounded, that needs to be stable and grounded in Taurus, and that needs to and we need to connect with our feelings of how to defend those things, Mars and Cancer. So as Mercury's slowing down, it's making us think that, and then how do we defend our things? A big part of this is going to be, we have to be careful that we don't want to defend something that's built on falsehood. These emotions of people are going to be stirred up, and there's a lot of things that are going to be stirring those things, but you got to make sure, if you get stirred up, that you're not defending something that's based on lies, that you're not defending something that you haven't researched or that isn't based on truth. And I think these aspects here are going to really bring this up, both that new moon, because it's in that solid Taurus, and then it hits that Pluto right after that, which is bringing up, hey, this is transforming. This is things we really need to think about, and then having it, Mercury go retrograde, and right there slowing down. So it's going to make us, I think, with Mercury slowing down like that, it's going to give us time to see that. And the warning again is to don't defend something that you haven't, don't defend something that's false or that you haven't checked out and know is true. Don't just defend some rhetoric because somebody said it. Okay, so that's the biggest thing on that. And then, one other interesting thing, Mercury, you see here, it was like it's almost close to the conjunction of Uranus, but it goes retrograde before it does that. So we're almost going to get a big reveal on things. We're going to get close, and then it's going to pull back, and then it's going to retrograde. And let's just look. It's going to be 21 days. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and it should be about, there we go. So um, it goes back to 5 degrees, and then it's going to be, let's see how long it's going to be before it gets over to, well, look at Uranus has gone already at 20 degrees before Mercury's getting close. We got to look again. Okay, so it'll be June 4th, right in the beginning of June, that we'll get the Mercury conjunction to Uranus. Had to do that because that is the culmination of one thing. See, Mercury got close, it had to go retrograde, and then it had to go back through its shadow, and then it's going to co-join Uranus. This can be big. This, remember this. We'll get there, again, but I wanted to just say it now, put it out there on the record. Put it on the record. This beginning time when Mercury hits over to Uranus is going to be some big truth, big reveal. Um, Big knowledge, big earthy stuff, big groundbreaking, earth shattering, whatever you want to say like that. Because it's unusual, Mercury, it's investigative, and it hits up with Uranus. So that's going to be really, really, really interesting. What else? Go back. Um, Go back to where we are. Okay, we're pretty close here. Yeah, that's like Sunday. Okay. So I think that I get everything I wanted to share with you. The retrograde, yeah, Mercury sextile Mars. We talked about that. I think so. Oh yeah, and then the promise of the almost Mercury with the um Uranus. One more thing about that. It may take a little while for people to understand and for word to get out about the truths that are about to be revealed. Just because of that, you see the proximity there. So, those are big bodies, in space, but still they're not exact. It's 3 degrees away before, I'm talking about Uranus and Mercury again. They're 3 degrees away before, they start separating again. So we're going to get a real glimpse. There's going to be some really interesting things coming up the next few days. It already is. And I think we're going to use our friend Elon as an indicator, our kind of our barometer as to humanity. I think that's one way we can kind of see a reflection in people, how things are going. All right, that's all I got today. Thank you all for watching, and we'll see you next week. Bye for now.